Hey everyone, welcome back to Self-Serving Skillet. If you've been following the show so far this month, you might say, Curtis, what do I do with all of this ice cream that I have left over after making last week's ice cream sandwiches? Well, there's quite a bit. Today, we're gonna make a couple of toppings for each of these delicious ice creams. We're gonna make a strawberry topping, and then I wanted to do something like a caramel topping, but you need like a thermometer, and if you go over in temperature, the caramel gets too hard. So there are a few more barriers to entry in something like a caramel sauce, but I still want the idea, I still want the flavor, so we're gonna make a dulce de leche. And that's just a sweetened boiled milk. And we're gonna cheat a little bit. We're gonna use a can of sweetened condensed milk. That's right, 1 can of sweetened condensed milk, and we are gonna submerge this in a pot of water. We want about 1 inch, about 2.5 centimeters of water above this. And then I also put a mason jar lid just underneath to get it just off of the surface of that pot. It's very important that everything stays the same temperature throughout. So you wanna put a cold can of the sweetened condensed milk into a cold pot of water and bring it all up together. And once it starts to boil, we can start our timer, and you want this to go about 90 minutes. That's really gonna be our maximum sort of pouring over ice cream consistency. You can let it go for longer than that. You can let it go for up to 3 hours, but understand that this is going to darken quite a bit. The flavors are gonna get deeper and richer, and this is gonna be a much thicker sauce. I think 90 minutes is the sweet point for our application. When that 90 minutes is up, we're gonna take this out. We're gonna let it cool completely. Do not try to open it when it's hot. Do not try to open it when it's warm. You're gonna get gushing dulce de leche coming out of the can, and if it's hot enough, it's just gonna spray you right in the face. So don't do it. Consider yourself warned. And while we're taking heed of this warning and letting this cool off, which in my case, I just let it go overnight, but I'm sure you can just let this sit out for 2 or 3 hours on the countertop. Do the touch test. If you can grab it, you're gonna be fine. But while we're waiting for this to cool, or even while we're waiting for the 90 minutes for this to boil off, we're gonna get started on our strawberry topping. And I wanna emphasize that this is not a jam. This will not keep indefinitely or even for a month at a time. The way we're doing this right now, these are essentially raw strawberries. There's gonna be a little bit of staying power to them, but I wouldn't keep this around much longer than 10 days to 2 weeks. So I'm gonna take, in my case, I took a pound of strawberries, and I wanna get those tops off. You can do this with a knife, you can do this with a tomato corer, you could even pick them off with your fingertips, but get those off of there. And I like to process mine down a little bit. I cut most of these in half. It just makes your work a little bit easier when you get them on the heat. And then when you get them on the heat, they're going to start releasing water. You don't need to put any water in there. You just want like a medium-low heat to start out until they start expressing water. Turn it up to medium. And I like to use a potato masher for this. I like to mash them down once they start releasing some water, let them release a little more, smash, 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 do it a 3rd time. And that's how I like it. I like it kind of chunky. I like to know that there's strawberry in there. You can absolutely let this cool a little bit and put it through a blender for a much more saucy sauce. So I like wide mouth mason jars. They're easy to clean, easy to get a sponge into. They double as efficient glassware. And I rarely can anything, but I have a canning funnel for just this purpose. if I'm putting something away in these cans, in these mason jars, well, I don't have to get my edges dirty, and it all kind of goes in nicely. So once my dulce de leche is cooled off, I'm going to open that can. I'm going to get it into its own jar, because this, I think, is much less messy than if I just left it in its own jar. And this especially, like, I don't want to leave this in the can, because it's the same concept as putting water into a solid measuring cup. Yes, it's the same measurement, but you're gonna spill it over. I don't want a sticky can that I'm dealing with that is gonna get the rest of my fridge all sticky, and then it's unpleasant to work with. So it's just a thing that I don't like to be the wrong texture. So even cold, we can see that this dulce de leche kind of flows. It kind of goes where you're putting it, but I am going to put this in the microwave for just a few seconds to let this flow a little bit smoother, a little bit easier onto my ice cream. And then we made both a chocolate and a vanilla ice cream, and I think that each of these would be very nice on either one. But what I'm going to do today, since I think that chocolate has a little bit more going on, a little bit more sweetness to it, I'm going to use the strawberry, because we didn't add that much sugar to it. We added maybe 2 big spoons of sugar to it. I want to taste the strawberries. It's going on something very sweet. I'd rather taste the strawberries than have sweet on sweet on sweet. My point is that it still has a relatively high acid to it. The berries are still very there, so I want to put it on maybe my most rich thing. And then the dulce is going on the vanilla. The vanilla is nice and smooth, and it has nuance to it, but it's not quite as bold as the chocolate. So we're just going to put the dulce over that vanilla, and they're both looking so good, and I can't wait to get them into my mouth. Let's give it a shot. Let's try first the vanilla with the dulce de leche. And that poured very nicely. About 30 seconds in the microwave for this entire thing. I stirred it around and kind of let it come to the same temperature. That's very important. And it was ready about 2 minutes after I got it out of the microwave. Oh man, oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's sort of milky, caramelized milky sweetness really complements the vanilla nicely. I do think that I would have liked a caramel more, but this was easy. It's consistent, it's low maintenance, and for something that I didn't have to put a whole lot of work into, this is doing just fine. This is double chocolate. This is devil's food. This is chocolate ice cream with some chopped. I bought a 71% cacao bar and chopped it up, churned it in with the ice cream. Very nice. We're adding a little fruit, a little acid, a little brightness to this. And I've been calling it a strawberry sauce. It's really more of a strawberry topping, but you know, the devil's in the details, and this devil's food is in this strawberry topping. Wow. It's got everything I need. The strawberry just adds brightness to the otherwise really like rich and deep chocolate flavor. Oh man. And the chocolate ice cream, the creamy chocolate ice cream, and the crunchy chocolate chunks each do a little bit of something different with that strawberry topping. I really enjoy this. get in the kitchen, make yourself something amazing. Let your hunger be your inspiration. I'm gonna put last week's ice cream sandwiches up here. That link to the ice cream is in the description. I'll see you next week. That's all I have to say. I'm just gonna sit here and eat ice cream. Today, we're gonna make